High-performance recruitment marketing is helping talent acquisition leaders and recruiters think like consumer marketers, act like consumer marketers. We talk all the time, and I'm sure with so many of your guests, that HR deserves a seat at the table and they're really business leaders. Historically, HR and talent acquisition in particular are cost centers. As the steward of a cost budget, the focus has to sometimes be on saving every penny. Consumer marketers are ruthless about this, and we're trying to bring that same mentality of high performance to recruitment marketing. There is no such thing as a poor quality candidate. It's just about relevance. And so when we can be hyper relevant to the right candidate, the recruiter is delighted. Probably more importantly, the candidate is delighted.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the HR Leaders Podcast. On today's episode, I'm joined by KJ, who's the founder and CEO at Joveo, and Yazad Dalal, who's the Chief Growth Officer at Joveo. During the episode, KJ and Yazad share how to turn your career site into a talent magnet, how to link recruitment marketing channels to hiring metrics, their top strategies to minimize candidate drop-off, and lastly, how AI is eliminating inefficiencies and revolutionizing recruitment strategies. As always, before we jump into the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. With that being said, let's jump in. KJ, Yazad, welcome to the show. How are you both?
Fantastic.
It's been a while since I've had two people on the sofa now. I feel a little bit intimidated.
We'll be gentle with you,
You'll be
Chris.
gentle, yeah.
Don't
Yazad,
worry.
Let's start with you, Yazad, in terms of your background. People know you from the show in a couple of different capacities, through our summits, through the events, through the podcast. Tell everyone a little bit more about this new journey you're on, and also why you decided to join Joveo. Let's start there.
Sure, I'm super excited. First of all, I'm super excited to be here because today's my birthday, Chris.
Oh, is it? You waited until you hit record.
I wanted it to be a live reaction.
You a cake and everything. Happy birthday.
Thank you. But this is a fun way to spend my birthday. I'm excited also to be here with KJ because KJ is the founder of Joveo, and Joveo is my new employer. I have a new job, and I'm super excited about it. I was looking last year, you and I've talked about this, for a company that's at the intersection of HR technology and AI, because obviously AI is the thing that's on everyone's, top of mind for everyone, and that's where I want to play. And what I found in Joveo and what KJ and the team have built is exactly that intersection. So I'm super excited about that. The journey for me is also exciting because I'm moving back a little bit to my roots. I grew up in talent acquisition services, and have spent a few years now in the HR wilderness across all HR function services. And so to be back in the recruiting arena is really a wonderful feeling.
It's an exciting time. It's in this pace of innovation, and it's almost hard to keep up with. It's super exciting. Okay, just tell everyone a little bit more about you and your background to where we are now.
Yeah, so getting to talent acquisition, online recruiting was accidental stuff for me. But one thing led to another. Worked across meeting the global talent acquisition leaders across the world, about 30 plus countries, working for Monster, managing the international business. Came up with an idea. Started my first startup, bootstrapped.
Nice.
The first ever acquisition by Indeed, and felt like I'm in the business of unfinished business. So,
you didn't have enough the first time. Come back again.
Yeah, seeking the pain, and I do believe that my why was very clear from the beginning. And so we said, okay, let's get down to it. Let's slowly and steadily get one thing right, because that's what happened in the first startup, right? We bootstrapped, and we were the ones to be acquired by Indeed, overlooking many of the well-funded startups. And it's because you focus on one thing and get that right, do that better than anything else, and that's where I am.
Yeah, that's so interesting you say that. I was watching a video recently where the podcaster was interviewing billionaires, and when they asked them what their piece of advice was of what's been success, the commonality between every single one of them is they focused on one single thing, and that was it. They didn't get distracted by different directions, and they just scaled that one thing. And they all said unanimously, this is just focus on that one thing and master that part as well. So it's so interesting you just said that.
When you really, really want that one thing so bad, the universe conspires to make it happen.
Yeah, you can't. That's something that Shane, my business partner, is really good. I get distracted and try and run in different directions. Sometimes I see the new shiny object. AI is the new one, right? I'm definitely chasing that one though, as well. But one of our pieces of our success is we know what we do very well, and then we stick to that and just become better and constantly refine and improve just a little bit over and over and over again.
Interesting you said that, right? You never become the best by trying to be the best. You become the best by trying to become better every day.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt didn't become what Usain Bolt is. All his life he may have run about 5 minutes. But look at the 5,000 hours plus that he would have trained, maybe 10,000 hours, right?
A lot of hours. In this,
Getting better. So
yeah. Well, so our hours are actually visual because you can see, 2,000 plus videos and podcasts. So like we put the time in.
Yes.
It's right there online to be able to see as well. Tell everyone a little bit more about the organization. What makes, I'm seeing many companies in this space pop up every day. What makes Joveo different?
it's actually in the name. So it's a modern age acronym of a job for everyone. And we believe that there is no applicant in the world which is not a quality applicant. There's always a right job for everyone. Our job is to figure it out and get it to them. And in the process of doing that, we care about why, right? Because at the end of the day, the talent acquisition leaders, the companies, the employers are the ones which have jobs. So if we can focus on one why, that is every single thing that can be improved, the inefficiencies in the life of a talent acquisition value chain, supply chain, and try to keep on getting better at it, fixing it, bringing it up to talent acquisition leaders, telling them predictably what will happen, this what will happen, fixing it for them. In the process, what you're doing is you're getting to 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully, the one day the world will get there is 4 clicks, 3 applies, 2 shortlists, and 1 hire. And that's our objective, because that's music to the ears of TA leaders, to the hiring managers, and that's what we exist for. Just one thing: find the right job, help the person get the job, and help talent acquisition leaders get through the process of finding right job or right person as fast as possible.
Love that. Yazad?
I think that's exactly right. It's a large part of, as KJ rightly says, our why is making life easier for these two very significant, important audiences. For a job candidate, every worker in the world is a job candidate. So we're trying to solve this for everyone. How do we make the experience of finding the right job for them as seamless as possible? Remove all the obstacles. And that's the promise of technology. That's the promise of artificial intelligence, is how do you remove obstacles, not just the obstacles that we see, but the ones that we don't even know to anticipate. Right? And we see that in our consumer life, whether it's the Apple Calendar or your tasks and reminders, the ability to speak to your phone or have it speak back, or Alexa. But the anticipation part of it is also to predict based on experience what hurdles you might have and remove those so that you don't even know that it helped you. And that's for the candidates. For the recruiters, all we care about is how do we help them get back to work. A really strong talent acquisition leader or recruiter who's devoted to their craft is about convincing people, the right people, to join their company. What we want to do is to make the back end of that so seamless for them that they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's why KJ rightly says 4, 3, 2, 1. To us, it's a really important formula. How do we make sure that for every recruiter, that they know that the candidates who are applying for their jobs, for every 4 clicks, meaning every time a candidate clicks on a job posting, that yields 3 applications.
Oh, that's what you mean by that. Oh,
Yeah, it's a huge ratio.
Yeah, huge.
For every 4 clicks, 3 applications.
Wow.
For every 3 applications, 2 shortlisted candidates, which is a measure of quality. Are these the right people? And for every 2 shortlisted candidates, 1 hire. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a very powerful formula. It's very aspirational.
About to say it's very aspirational.
Currently it's like 1,000.
Yeah, about to say, what is the current metrics on that?
1,000, 50, 5, and maybe 1.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. 1,000 people click to apply to a job. Average ATS conversion rate's about 5 to 7%. So 50 people end up applying. Imagine a company, L'Oreal or Johnson & Johnson, or some of these companies, they spend tens of millions of dollars every year in attracting candidates. And 95% of that goes to waste the moment a person starts applying to a job.
Where's the most common point of drop-off?
That's a great question.
In that process.
Those are the obstacles that we're talking about.
Yeah, application process.
Yeah, but what stage? Of,
Oh yeah, oh great, yeah. It's a very first stage.
just the initial click-through rate.
Login page.
Oh wow, that's already the friction.
Yeah,
You're losing people immediately, basically, just from that part.
And you don't just create a login page. You make it painful. You put alphanumeric characters, you like secret questions, even put CAPTCHA.
Oh, the capture thing, yeah.
So I think the problem starts a lot earlier, right? You're not even showing the right job to the right people. You're not even putting the right content. You know, I was talking to a head of TA of a very, very large technology company, and something interesting came out when we did a data analysis for them. He said 7 out of 10 people who applied to jobs in a company actually applied to the wrong job.
Oh, wow.
There was a job they would have got hired for if they had applied to the wrong job. So you don't even show the right job to the person. You expect a job seeker to be that super intelligent ninja to figure out magically my right job here. You write some kind of a technical moment on the job. Make it simple, right? We're talking to humans.
Not only humans, but I think the human mindset. You know, if we go on Amazon and I go to buy a pepper mill, I just bought a pepper mill for my brother. I had a vague idea what I want to buy. I'm going to buy it. It's not an emotional decision-making process. But for humans, there's 3 really emotional decisions that we make in our life. House, which house am I going to buy or rent? Spouse, and if you're lucky, you don't have to do either of those more than once or twice.
Expensive.
and job.
A job, yeah.
Now, at an emotional moment, ooh, this sounds a little like me. Let me click and apply. You are in a fragile state. You're making a potential decision for your future, for your family, for your security. And if the next question is, create an account, username and password, please. And even if you do that, the next one is, prove you're not a robot. You're like, I'm on the train. I'm about to arrive at work. I need to just submit my resume. And then the next thing is, well, are you a veteran? Are you this? And there's 20 screening questions. Do you have a visa? Do you have the right to work?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a decision for my life and my family. How do we remove all of those obstacles? That's a huge part of our focus.
Love that. One of the things that you spoke about, which I love to hear more on, is high performance recruitment marketing. It's not something I've really come across before. I've never heard of that term. What do you guys mean by that?
So I think for us, high performance recruitment marketing is helping talent acquisition leaders and recruiters think like consumer marketers, act like consumer marketers. You know, we talk all the time, and I'm sure with so many of your guests, that HR deserves a seat at the table and they're really business leaders. Historically, HR and talent acquisition in particular are cost centers. As the steward of a cost budget, the focus has to sometimes be on saving every penny. Consumer marketers are ruthless about this. And we're trying to bring that same mentality of high performance to recruitment marketing. How do we optimize for saving every possible penny and do it while at the same time we massively expand the output that a recruiter can deliver behind the scenes? And I'll give you a great example. A traditional recruiter has a rec, they post a job, and in the old days, 10, 20 years ago, they post it on a display website, monster.com, in the old days, indeed.com or others, and they wait for people to apply. In the last 5 or 10 years, we've moved into what we call programmatic advertising, cost per click, or performance marketing. But even that, for the recruiter, whose craft, by the way, is still talking to candidates, we're now asking them, post that job, make a bid for the number of applies you want, put an auction-based bid out there, because this is the cost per click environment. They are able to do what a human can do in a 20, 30-minute process. What we are doing for our clients is to say, we can do 1,000 times more than that in a fraction of the time for a fraction of the cost. You go back to talking to people, we'll take that job, we'll post it on 100 websites at once. And not just the job you gave us, but we'll take the job title, and based on the location, based on the level, our machine learning programs know all the different versions of that title that are appropriate.
So it has he understands sort of the cultural nuances and the
exactly
different countries. HR director means something.
So we optimize the title.
Different.
We optimize the location.
You do language as well?
We do language as well. And what we're doing is when we optimize these things, that's a big word, when we are testing different titles, we're testing them at high speed.
So you do A/B testing.
Exactly. Which title is getting
most clicks,
the most applies on which sites, and we don't wait a month or a week. We can tell in 24 hours.
Allocate more spend over here where you're getting more.
And to do this automated.
To do all that I've had to do all of that. Everything you're saying, I've had to do that all manually.
So you know exactly.
Small business owner. So I'm like, oh, so much time. We were actually hiring recently, and I don't want to say what site I'm doing it through and how I'm doing it because I want to say bad things about anyone. But yeah, it takes a lot of manual time for me and Shane as founders, let alone a huge organization at scale who are spending millions of pounds. And again, it takes them away from that core job of having meaningful conversations with candidates.
Yeah.
Right. All of the admin that they're going to be doing.
I think if you start breaking the problem down, you realize that a lot of large companies don't even know where to post the jobs. They post to usual suspects. Oh, okay, I've got Indeed, I've got LinkedIn.
Yeah, you just go to like sort of the safe ones that you think.
Correct.
That's may not be the best ones though.
Now if you ask nurses, where do you go to in your day-to-day life? They're not going to Indeed and LinkedIn. They're going to their nurse.com or another community site or other places where they're actually hanging out and really spending a lot of time. And so if I were to go and say, hey, we'll post a job on nurse.com where there are 2 million nurses per month, or we'll post a job in nursingjobs.com. This is a place where nursing, candidates go to. Now, or you're looking for a job you're looking to fill a candidate in Dallas, there's dallasjobs.com. Now, knowing that these people are there, and if you put the right job in front of them with the right title, right description, in their commute distance, right?
Oh yeah, even based on that, yeah.
Like, imagine, right? You put a job and you say, oh, the job is 100 miles away. That person applies, will never get the job. The companies will never shortlist that person.
And you're still spending money on that person now. Still being charged for that click.
And the expectation on the recruiter is really unfair. How do we expect a recruiter to know that posting a job in Utrecht in the Netherlands, that they can also accept job seekers from 20 miles away or 10 miles away? How do we expect them to know what average commute times are?
It's impossible. No one's going to be able to retain all of that information.
But a machine can learn all of that. And in fact, the machine knows all of that. And not only does it have that information, it knows how to act on that. So a job for one metropolitan area, the machine will know to post that in 4 other metropolitan areas because it knows the commute time is acceptable for candidates in that region.
Could you also using the AI to also change the copy?
Yes, so we call something like we have something called as job content optimization. So the moment a job description comes in, which is a job copy, we know that this is, there are multiple facets to it, right? One is it's a bad written content, right? And honestly speaking, are you really expecting recruiters or hiring managers to be copywriters?
Again, they're copywriters. They're now market analytic. They got to put the analytic. There's a lot of things they're asking.
Yeah, you want them to be data scientists. You want them, so machine could literally figure out the best job description that resonates. But machine can do that through, of course, the AI revolution that has came in. But we also have we power about 10 million jobs at any point of time. We know which job description resonated the most. We have all of the data with us. Marry these two together and you have a wonderful output that will resonate the most. I've seen places where you are writing, interestingly, product champion. Now, what does a product champion mean? The company might be feeling good about writing a product champion title. Is it a senior product manager, a product manager, a product associate, SDE? SDE is a software development engineer, but you don't write SDE 2. You write senior software engineer.
I had one, literally we're hiring a social media, what we called it a social media assistant. Didn't get much traction, just changed it so social media specialist.
There you go.
Because I was like, why is it not resonating? I was like, no one wants to be an assistant. I don't know, it's not the most sexiest of things, right? I said, change it to
Chris, how many days between when you first posted and when you changed it?
We burned through hundreds of pounds of LinkedIn credits before we changed that.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
We went for about £500 of LinkedIn credits.
So now, if you look at it...
And I was like, this isn't working. We're attracting the wrong people. We changed this to specialist. We interviewed that week. The guy started on Monday.
Just now imagine that at scale.
Yeah.
Imagine that at scale.
Imagine that with thousands and thousands of people.
That's
right?
it.
And that took a lot of me manually going in. I updated the job description, changed the title, resubmitted the campaign on LinkedIn. Then we still had to go and shortlist again. It was just a huge time for our marketing director and me to go through all of that. And it was all because if we had AI automatically going, this is what's resonating the most with this audience, and automatically just did it for us, we wouldn't have spent that much time doing it.
And so, if you look at the entire HR ecosystem, right, talent acquisition is one piece of it. You put the rest of the entire HR ecosystem and the amount of money that gets spent over there, and here is at least 2 to 3 times more than that. In the HR ecosystem, how many companies exist like Indeed and LinkedIn with more than $10 billion of annual sales? Billion dollars of sales, not valuations, right? So now as you start thinking about it, you start realizing that there are nuances by country, there are different job boards by country. But then do everybody come on job boards? Passive job seekers are not even going to job boards.
No.
They're on social media.
Not this new generation. No, definitely not. They're like, oh, job boards. They're on social media.
Right. Something interesting that came up. And this happened about a couple of years back. I started seeing a pattern. The latest new Nike trail running shoes came in front of me as an ad. I was like, I didn't see that ad for 5-6 months. I never said a word about Nike trail running shoes. How did this thing know? My phone knew that my shoes are getting worn out because I'm a runner, and every 6 months the shoe get worn out, and you want to have
your Strava, mate. He knows
right?
how much running knows how much running you're doing in your Strava account is giving it away.
The ad tech world out there is so advanced and sophisticated.
Yeah.
They know you when you're even thinking. I would like to make a fun of it, right? Damn.
All the time. I go on LinkedIn now, and because of what I do, my entire feed is full of like HR technology vendors or HR leaders, or where it's just basically me in a post. To your point, everything. Even before I know it, to your point, before I even know I want something, it's.
But when it's hyper relevant to you, that's the moment when you're willing to take an action. And I think that's what that's the first thing that KJ said. There is no such thing as a poor quality candidate. It's just about relevance. And so when we can be hyper relevant to the right candidate, the recruiter is delighted. Probably more importantly, the candidate is delighted, and they take an action.
Yeah, and I've heard so many times talent acquisition leaders saying that my recruiters are overburdened. They go through thousands of applications to get 2 good applications. Is that the real job? Their job is human to human connect.
They all have companies that they're working with then. So why is it not working? Why are the current solutions not solving this problem?
Because it's, how do I say, post and pray method. How do I say it?
Even these companies that I don't want to mention other companies, but like there's so many companies out there that the CHROs I speak to every day that claim they got it's AI driven, ATS, etc., etc. They're still not doing this. What's the difference between what you're trying to achieve?
So ATS is down the funnel. ATS is Applicant Tracking System. Once the application comes in, it processes everything. But if your input is, I hate to say it like that.
You're top of funnel.
Yes.
That's right.
Where people really aren't not paying enough attention.
Once it comes to the ATS, it is recruiter's burden. I believe, and this is my personal belief, recruiter's job is like a sales guy. He has to be selling to the right candidate the job, convince the person about the job in the company, how great that job is, get that person through the door. 80% of his time is going to administrative stuff, sourcing, searching, going through hundreds of applications. I'll ask you to do an exercise. Just look at 100 resumes and go through that one by one. And every resume put about a minute. After 100 minutes, your eyes will start popping out. Your brain will freeze.
No, I've done it. I did it.
Painful.
Literally, I did it last week. It was tough. And I don't want to pick on LinkedIn right now, but even when you shortlist it on LinkedIn, it's still a manual process to go through and say this and do it. Like it's just.
And as KJ said, the recruiter's craft is about being human to human.
Yeah.
Correct.
How do we remove all of these eye-popping burdens as much as possible, do it at speed, do it at lower cost and higher quality?
Yeah. What companies can you give me examples of that are currently using this successfully?
Well, I think we don't want to give too many names, but there's a rather famous global ride-hailing application company.
I wonder who that is.
Well, there's a few, so we won't be specific.
Say that is right. The best growth marketers are the people who work for companies where their purpose of the business is hiring. So now you talk about staffing companies. You talk about gig economy companies, right?
Insurance companies, financial institutions, retail,
trucking, transportation, staffing. So you start getting I think direct enterprise customers would start getting there. I think they must have a recruitment marketer in their ranks to say, okay, data-driven, optimization-driven.
This is a separate role, like where every recruiting team needs their own recruitment analytics leader.
Recruitment analytics, recruitment marketing.
Yeah.
There's 2 ways to look at it. Either to have that expertise in-house with the knowledge of how to leverage platforms and tools like ours, or even from a managed services perspective, to pass that burden and that work onto a company like Joveo and we manage it for them.
How's that work?
So there's a couple of different ways, but essentially from a managed services perspective,
That was an offering you had. So, okay, that's it.
Absolutely. So a hiring manager or a set of hiring managers will always be generating job openings.
Mm-hmm.
They pass them on to their recruitment team. We are in the business of, as we keep saying, removing all of the back end work for a recruitment team. They can pass all of those jobs to us. We, based on what we see in the job content, we know where to post, when, how to optimize the title, the location, the content. All we need to know from them is how much is your target budget? How do you want to optimize that? What are our goals? The point of performance marketing is set a goal, strive to achieve it. That's why KJ is talking about Usain Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Set a goal, strive to achieve it. And that's the value proposition that we have to our clients.
Yeah.
Give us all the requisitions that you have. Tell us your goal in terms of your business goal. What are you trying to accomplish?
Correct.
Your hiring goal. And then if you have a budgetary goal, what is that? So we stick to it. And in return, we will deliver the candidates to you faster, higher quality, lower cost. And you very rightly mentioned data analytics. We will provide, along with those outcomes, a full view of the entire performance as transparently as possible. And that's very important in our industry, to be transparent, all the publishers that we're using and how we're applying those budgets. And what I'm very excited about is, because we have built a full data analytics console for our clients, it can take inputs from us, but it can take inputs from all of our clients' different HR vendors.
That was my next question. Literally was the question going through my mind. I was like, what is the candidate experience? Are they seeing it as a white labeled version for the...
It's a unified analytics tool that basically says, give us a feed from every single talent acquisition vendor that you use, mm-hmm. including us, and we will show you the performance. What are your goals? Are they around gender? Mm-hmm. Are they around ethnicity? Are they around job level?
That's another thing we haven't even spoke about.
Is it at the recruiter level?
DEI lens as well, right? I'm sure there's an important DEI lens.
Whatever our client is striving to measure, we want to be able to show the performance of that.
Is that real time or after the campaign?
Real time.
They have a dashboard
real time.
They can just see.
The whole point of this is real time. It's the stuff that humans can't do. That's what we're trying to specialize in.
Not at scale, or not that fast.
I've heard Fortune 10 companies tell me that it took them months to put a report together.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the best part of it is, if you put all of that, think of us as a universal integrator. Mm-hmm. One place, all your talent acquisition information comes in, and then not only we tell you where the inefficiencies are, predict this will happen if this continues. This is how you should do a planning.
And you have the predictive analytics as well.
And prescriptive.
Right.
And prescriptive.
So now we say, this is what you should change. Say yes, and it happens.
So interesting. Yeah. And we used to do like another episode where we do like a little behind the scenes.
We'd love to do that.
To see how it works. And I think the challenge for our audience, anyone listening right now, is that they're inundated.
Yes.
With, as CHROs, with every day their inbox is just getting bombarded, right? And there's a new shiny tool, new shiny object that claims to solve all of their problems. Their challenge is getting through that noise, and that's one of the reasons why we created the show. To help give them that as well. And Yazad, we've been working together for years to be able to do that. What's one thing we haven't spoken about that you really want to make sure our audience walk away with?
I would say that it's a very strange thing I'm going to say. I hope it doesn't go wrong.
It's a good starting point.
Please take half an hour or 1 hour, any talent acquisition leader, please go apply to a job in your own company and see what that experience looks like. Please go and look at 10 job boards and see how a job description looks like over there, and how your prospective employee experience. We keep on saying job seeker. I don't think that's the right word to say. It should be given the same status as your employee experience, because in fact, even more so.
It's the first impression.
First impression, right?
Before they even, we're only waiting until they get in to give them a good employee experience. That's why I wasn't even thinking about the top of funnel through the same lens that you have just described whatsoever. And I was really embarrassed to say this. I've never applied for one of our jobs. I looked through the process of what that actually looks like. I feel really bad saying that now. I should go and do it myself and have a look through. Yeah.
I think the world will be a better place and a different place if every talent acquisition manager, leader, hiring manager will go through the same process of finding a job in their company with 10 different job boards, clicking and applying for it, just as a dummy exercise, this world would be a better place.
So when you bring all the job boards together, they're still seeing your experience. So because every job board has its own user experience, but they're not seeing that because you've connected it. They're going to go through your user journey.
We're a platform for distributing these jobs in the right places at the right time, at speed, and at a lower cost. The candidate is not engaging with Joveo, not the brand. They are engaging in many, many cases with our technology, but it's transparent to them.
Okay.
And that's very, very important because their experience should be, I'm engaging with my future employer.
That's what I was trying to get at. So that's the experience that they're seeing.
That's right.
They're using.
There was a Fortune 100 company I was looking at. I looked at their job description on one of the job boards. I was like, there is no formatting. Everything, and they were coding into that. And you click on apply and went to another job board where you're asked to log in. And then once you log in and it takes you to another job board. And then to another job board.
The drop-off rate must be crazy.
I was like, this is a Fortune 100 company. One of the biggest brands, like I would say they're the top 25 brands in the world.
The big companies that I see, they're probably the biggest culprits. When this is years ago when I was thinking, hey, do I want to start a company or do I want to go work for another company? I was like, wow. Because I had been employed for 10 years at that point. So it's been a long time. And when I was going through some of the big companies that we all know, I was like, this is an awful experience.
40%, tell me if I've got the percentage right, 40% based on our data of drop-offs when there's a login required.
Yeah.
40%.
So now that is an experience, right? That's where the interface of Joveo could come in and say, we guarantee 0 drop-offs there. That means your entire recruitment marketing budget, your job advertising budget could become half with the same results. And
so what do you replace that? What do you do instead? If there's no login experience, for example, what's the experience?
So when you create a login, you do some activities, right? You write a password, which is in adherence to the requirements of the page. You
need a special character at the end.
Special character, alphanumeric, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So why can't machine create one for you? Why do you have to create one? You just put your email.
Oh yeah, some of the best platforms I use, they suggest the password now, don't they? They just say, here you go.
That's right.
We don't
Apple
do
does that all the time.
Yeah, Apple. That's I was thinking Apple. When you said, yeah.
We don't even show that page. Your email is going to be captured in your application process anyways.
So why just go past that?
Correct.
You're going to do it later anyway. You have to at some point, but now they're already in.
That's right.
At that point, now that's the thing. You already got them in. Yeah.
And some of the best people are not desperate. You're turning them away.
The best people are the ones who are 100% not the desperate ones.
Correct.
They're the talent you actually want are the ones
and they're the ones you're turning away.
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones that you miss. And get everyone that you don't want, they will spend all the time in the world going through all
So you're turning away the best people by giving them bad job descriptions. You're basically deselling yourself by putting wrong job titles, by showing the job in the wrong locations, by putting a bad apply experience, by not being there where they are in the social media and the world of World Wide Web. You got to go to them. They don't have to come to you.
It's crazy. Like we started HR Leaders Jobs. I'm not sure if you know about this. So we started behind the scenes for about 7 years. We've been placing CHROs just privately, not for money, not for business, just that we have such a big network. People always call me, Chris, I'm looking for a new role, or hey, I'm looking for a new CHRO, and we just make the connections, right? And we decided, okay, last year, let's just create a video version. So we just do the video job ads. And the first one we did was for a vice president of people analytics role at Lego. We interviewed the Lego team, the current VP of people analytics at Lego, the CHRO at Lego. What do you want? What are you looking for? What does success look like in a role? Posted out on LinkedIn, 75,000 views. Wow. Just from the video straight away, and tens of thousands of applications. And it was just a very authentic, simple video, like, I think it was like 6 minutes long, me asking hard questions. What you were the VP of analytics, right? And so, yeah, what was your biggest challenge you had to face? And this was the person coming in, what would you wish you would have known when you came in? Though you ain't ever going to see that in a job description. That's that type of information, if that makes sense, as well. But my point is the social media element of it was everyone gravitated. I even got messages from people like, "Wow, that was really refreshing." And the person that took the job was from Salesforce, their former VP Analytics, who was at our event.
Wow.
At Lego, the one I said to you about as well. So that's how. Oh, great, amazing. Watched the video, applied. had a conversation.
Because you're appealing to something inside these folks that's deeply personal.
Yes, that's also.
They're reconsidering, what do I do next with my life? Not my job or my career, my life.
Yeah.
There's no more deep question you can ask yourself than that.
Yeah.
And so employers, Joveo, we're in the business, you're in the business, Chris, of helping people determine what they're going to do with their life. And it's in that very emotional, vulnerable, sometimes fragile state that some of the world's most important employers are saying, username and password, please. And then I'll help you change your life.
Yeah. All these companies that we're speaking about, they all have ATSs. Do they have similar a type of product like yours on top at the moment? What's the alternatives?
So ATSs,
I can't name any. I kind of pride myself on knowing all the companies.
No. So that's a very good question. What ATSs do is ask a recruiter, where do you want to post the job?
So you're just this is almost a new category.
Yes.
Is there a description of this category? What do you call it?
It's called programmatic job advertising. So
Okay,
machine
here we
decides that. The interesting thing is, recruiters can.
Maybe I should have known that.
No, that's okay. That's but it is nothing but a new way of saying performance marketing in recruitment. Mm-hmm. It's really that. We can give all the buzzwords, but it's basically optimizing for job seeker experience to deliver better outcomes.
Why are ATSs not already doing this?
They should be. But
good for you, they're not.
Yeah.
I think there's a hard line between enterprise software technology, and you know that I'm coming from that background as well, between that and the concept of advertising, which is less predictable. And so, I think what we're in the business of, how did his phone know he wanted Nike trail running shoes? How did your phone know exactly what you were looking for?
Yeah.
Feels like magic, right? Mm-hmm. We're in the business of that magic. Except the magic that we want to perform is to help a prospective employee find the perfect job for themselves, and to help a recruiter or a TA leader do their job, get back to the stuff they're good at by removing all the obstacles and giving them a seamless experience. That's the magic that we're trying to perform.
Yeah. I don't think there's a better way to wrap up the podcast than that. Before I let you go, where can people reach you both if they want to reach out to you both directly, learn more?
I think the ideal place to go is joveo.com/HR leaders. Mm-hmm. So thank you for giving us this opportunity. But if you go to joveo.com/HR leaders, you'll find a bunch of information there that I think is going to help recruiters, help talent acquisition leaders understand what we mean when we talk about that magic, and how we can help them get back to the work that they're really good at and understand performance marketing.
And for you individually, LinkedIn?
Yes, and please do that. And I'm very passionate about what I'm trying to do. Anybody who's ears, anybody want to hear what we can advise them, my email is kj@joveo.com.
Oh, easy to remember.
Yes.
Listen, I appreciate you coming on. Firstly, happy, Yazad, for you that you found this new connection with your why and purpose. And we've been speaking for a long time, and I'm really happy that this happened. And obviously you've got an amazing person on the team to go and join you. And obviously I love what you're doing as well.
Thank you.
I think this is obviously a constant challenge that I'm hearing every day from all of the people that listen to our audience, regardless of their role they're in. This is a challenge. It's a challenge for me personally as well. So I'm really excited to see how this evolves, and look forward to speaking again soon. But appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you so much.